One popular video format that goes around here on YouTube is to give oneself a challenge and to accomplish a set of goals within a specified amount of time. Just like those weight loss transformation videos, I wanted to find out if doing something similar can help me become a better photographer. And so I've been trying to take photos every single day, and more recently did a 7 daily vlog challenge series. So for title purposes, here are 7 lessons I've learned. For those of you who are new and haven't seen the series, I've created a playlist for daily videos, but in summary, there are just going to be 2 general rules, which is to use the Ricoh GR IIIx and do some straight out of camera photography while exploring different districts in Hong Kong and using different film recipes. To keep each video fresh, I also added some mini goals throughout the series, like limiting my shooting area within a 1 kilometer radius, or waking up for the sunrise and do some landscape photography. And this is really just to keep things fresh and engaging for all of you. You know, I don't do this YouTube or photography thing full time, and for the longest time I've been thinking about this as a hobby. You know, just a break from my corporate life, something to do whenever I'm free or just when I feel like it. And that's the thing, just when I feel like it. So then I thought, why not try to make photography as part of my daily life? I don't know, something like whenever I go to the gym to do weights training, or drink iced coffee every single day for lunch. Well, 7 days isn't nearly long enough for me to fully integrate photography as part of my daily routine. Studies actually show that it could take weeks or even months for a habit to form. But with the help of the Ricoh, it's been actually a lot easier. You see, I just simply sleep with it, and then whenever I wake up in the morning, I think in photography mode. Well, not really. So I simply just place my camera beside my wallet, and then I'll see my camera and then remember, oh, I also need to take photos for today. So it's as simple as that. And it also helps that the Ricoh fits in my pocket, so it's not even a burden for me to carry. So photographers like James Popsis often say to choose the gear that will inspire you to shoot for longer. And that is really something that I've thought about. I don't know about your inspirations or motivations to start photography, and do let me know in the comments. I'm quite curious to know about your story. But for me, it was mainly about travels. You know, going to epic landscape, sharing the new places that I visit, and then posting them all to Instagram, because that was the cool thing back then when photographers still loved the platform. And then I faced a challenge. I'm broke. And I don't have the budget to go on multiple once-in-a-lifetime adventures every single time. So light bulb moment, why not take photos somewhere closer to home? I mean, I totally understand. Everyone wants that epic bucket list shot. But then on the other hand, if you're only relying on the places to make impactful photos, then you might be missing out on the opportunities to hone your skills by taking photos in places you deem a bit boring. Epic photos in epic places are expected. If you do a bad job, then you know you fucked up. So try to find photos in boring places. It might surprise you. In landscape photography, I usually have a starting point and then a predetermined end point. And then before heading out to shoot, we'll check out some maps for places of interest to explore, and then follow through a specific trail and with some allowance to go a bit off and find some hidden gems or new compositions. But then if I venture a bit too far, then I might get lost and then probably have some hardships and even death. Not fun at all. But in doing this daily photography challenge, I realized that getting lost isn't actually a bad thing. I simply just start with a district that I wanted to explore and then just walked around aimlessly around the streets. And this is really great for directionally challenged individuals who can't navigate maps. But it's also a great way to discover new places that you haven't really thought about shooting in before. Well, the challenge definitely had some challenges. And throughout the middle of it all, there were times that I was already feeling uninspired, demotivated, and I actually wanted to quit at some point. I still managed to push through, but then the photos themselves were quite lackluster, and then I wasn't too happy about them. And I guess looking back, this is going to be quite similar to anyone's creative journey. You're bound to face some high points, and you're also bound to face some low points. And your best work isn't going to be from a place where you're feeling demotivated, uninspired, or when you're just doing things just for the sake of doing it. It's just like going to the gym, I guess. Sometimes you hit some fitness plateaus, but you can always overcome it by sticking to a plan, staying consistent, and doing some steroids. or some... and maybe even getting a personal trainer or gym buddy to help you with the motivation. And this is something that we can learn from. Listening to some feedback or outside perspective to make you see things differently to how you usually operate is of great help. You may feel like you're not progressing at all currently, and know that it's going to be normal. Just take a breather and then think of new ways that you can do to change things up a bit or even get some outside perspective. Just don't let those moments put you down. Doing photography daily, going out without any plans, and getting lost. This is just a recipe for one thing: lowering your standards. This challenge made me remember the roots of my photography and how probably many of you felt when you first picked up the camera. Photography is fun, no doubt about it. Remember those times when you just snapped away at everything that made you curious or made you stop to look at the scene more closely because it's interesting. You know, sort of approaching things with childlike curiosity. It wasn't solely about the end results, but you're mainly enjoying the process of taking that photo. In a world of social media, trying to grow viral and taking epic photos every single time, this challenge was a great reminder that taking crappy photos is not a bad thing. It doesn't really mean that you won't strive to improve your photography, but to forego those pressures that you always need to come away with something great. And this sort of made me remember a video from Ivan Raft about how YouTube is ruining street photography. And the basic premise was that in making content on a regular basis, you force yourself to sacrifice quality just to be able to make the content. I disagree with the message of the video to a certain extent, because whether or not you're taking photos to post on social media or to make content, you're not always going to be successfully taking great photos every single time anyway. And I will always count any form of attempt to take photos consistently as an absolute win. So on the topic of end results, landscape photography taught me some core lessons. Protect the details, don't blow out your highlights, get your exposure right, and be mindful of your histogram, those kinds of things. But then in doing this daily photography challenge, I noticed that a lot of the photos that I took were conventionally imperfect shots. There's going to be some blown out highlights, crushed blacks, motion blur, a lot of noise in the shot, especially during the nighttime, those kinds of things. But overall, they still sort of appeal to me, and I actually think those imperfections added to the realism of the shots. I don't know if I'm just making excuses, and you can roast me in the comments all you want, but it is what it is. So I do think that the photo could still work as long as the overall message is going to be there, even though you missed a couple of the settings. And getting that technically perfect clean shot is just a bonus. And there is that saying, don't let perfection be the enemy of good. And this ultimately means that things are better done than not being done at all because you were too caught up in trying to perfect it. Finally, I'm still not there yet, and in taking more photos, I see more what type of shots I would like to take, or what kinds of visual patterns I try to employ in my compositions, or even just what type of subjects that I'm drawn towards to. Or maybe because I've tried to expand my photography to go beyond just whenever I feel like it to my daily routine, then I can use this as an opportunity to try different new skills or different new concepts that I can apply in my photos. And you never really know if you like something until you try it, and if you try hard enough, then you will be one step closer to what a lot of photographers or seasoned professionals will aim to have. A style that will define your photography. And your style isn't going to show in just one photo, it's going to be shown in a collection of work that you've taken through time. And this style is going to evolve as you take more photos, as you practice your skills, and as you take in more information and knowledge from others. So if you want to watch the 7-day Ricoh Daily Street Photography Challenge, then why don't you click on this playlist and I'll see you there. Thanks for watching.